It's 12 minutes past 9 now.
You're listening to the Radio Wammo Breakfast, only on Kiwi.
Oh, joining us now from bwaggy.com, bwaggy.com, and also twitter.com/bwaggy. It's Ben Young. The best ideas are free. G'day there, Ben.
Good morning.
What have you been doing over the past week?
I've been very, very busy. I popped down to Wellington. I did a bit of speaking down there, and then I zipped back up to Auckland to do some more speaking, following up.
So a lot of talking.
Yeah, a lot. But when you go and talk to someone for, say, an hour, my rule of thumb is it takes about 12 hours of preparation. So, although I did have a lot of speaking...
That's quite a big ratio going on there.
It is, but when you're speaking, you need to cater what you're saying to your audience, and that involves ringing up your audience and finding out what's going to happen, what objectives people want to get out of the talk, then preparing slides, redoing your slides,
and
all that kind of
you were
stuff.
Talking to businesses?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
on similar topics?
Yeah, they were similar topics, but there is a lot of preparation that goes into speaking.
Yeah.
Although the funny thing is, for all the preparation that I do, usually within 4 hours of the presentation, I rework it from scratch. I still end up using the same slides.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I keep my slides really interpretive. I don't put bullet points. I kind of use an image to portray the theme that I want to communicate. And so it's quite funny that I'm able to juggle it very much so last minute, and then it still goes quite well.
Yeah. You weren't going around selling stuff.
No.
You were selling ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Well, I basically was telling a story. That's what good presentations do at a conference. They draw the participants in, just like going to the movie.
Yeah. And
then they soak up everything from your body language to your clothing to your tone of voice to your slides, and then what you're actually saying, of course.
Yeah.
But I wrote a post about this a few weeks ago, and the thing that really annoys me about some conferences is when you turn up and there's a slot for, say, 20 or 30 minutes, and all that person does is that they spend the whole time trying to sell you on their product. They say, this is what we do, this is why you should use it, here's how much it costs, this is the cool kind of stuff we've been doing.
So it sounds like an infomercial.
Yeah, but as being in the audience, all you're thinking is either you want to buy the product or you're like, I've got 20 more minutes of this. When's this guy going to stop? What a pain.
Yeah.
But it's a very me-centric approach. If you stand up and present to an audience a compelling story, you can use the introduction where you get introduced, say, Ben Young works here and this is what he does.
Yeah.
It is much better if it's coming from someone else because they position your message for you.
Right.
You don't need to sell the audience. Your aim should be to help them with whatever they do.
Yeah.
If they want to work with you, they're going to wander up afterwards.
Okay. So, if you were going to be speaking at a conference, and maybe your aim at the end of the day is to sell more of whatever you're selling, so you say the trick is to make sure that there is someone there, that whoever's running the conference does do those kinds of introductions.
Or every conference you get a little introduction.
Okay.
But it's not really a trick. It's just, let's be straight up, and here's how you can use whatever I'm doing to help you.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, I'm always sharing and talking about marketing ideas that help people grow their business.
Yeah.
If they want to work with me afterwards, they can come up. I don't want to stand up and go, here's a list of products and services and here's what they're going to do for your business.
Yeah.
It's much more interesting to share a story like Zappos, who sent... a lady got in touch with them and said, hey, I'd like to return the shoes I bought last week. And they said, oh, that's sorry, why is that? And she said, oh, I bought them for my mother and she passed away. So they sent her a refund, but they also sent her a bunch of flowers. That's much more engaging than me telling you, I've got a package here that helps you sell X, Y, Z.
Yeah. I guess that's the rule of thumb with any kind of speech, I suppose, isn't it? That, you want to
any kind of engagement.
Get some anecdotes out there.
If I meet you at a party and I go, this is what I do, here's my business card, here's how I can help you, you're going to go, we're someone more interesting to talk to.
This is true. All right, well, that's a good idea. Now, another idea that you want to talk about this morning is about call etiquette or how to test companies on their call etiquette.
as you'll recall, I missed a show. It was last week, or
It was last week. You were
Yeah.
ill. You were
Yes,
very
I was
well.
a bit
you're
ill.
You're sounding much better now.
yeah, much better. But I had to ring up and cancel a few appointments, and it really gave me the opportunity to gauge some of the people that I worked with, but also, my doctor and my dentist and a few other things.
Right.
And someone complained hugely. They said, "How can you cancel an appointment on us?" I'm like, "Well, I'm sick. I'm more than happy to come in, but you're probably going to get sick. The person who's coming to the meeting is going to get sick,
Yeah.
and I'm going to feel worse afterwards."
Yeah.
And they said, "Why didn't you give us more notice?" And I said, "It's not like I planned getting sick."
Yeah. Yeah. God, that's full on.
Yeah, that is a bit full on. So what I was thinking is, wouldn't it be neat to have a service that calls small businesses and tests their responses and grade them? So, for example, if you ring up a doctor and then cancel an appointment, what kind of response do they have? Are they friendly? Are they a pain? And to expose that information, like grade them 1 to 10.
All right.
When cancelling an appointment, these guys are number 9 or these guys are number 3. Because
And where would that information be deposited?
you could share it online.
Oh, so it'd be like a website that would
Yeah,
that
so,
would
so you could grade it. You say, look, we called this business, once a month for the 6 months.
Yeah.
Under these categories, here's how they fared. And that's immediately going to help that business figure out, what their call quality is and look at improving it.
Yeah.
But as a customer, you go, well, actually, I don't really want to put up with someone being rude to me on the phone.
Particularly in the telecommunications industry, this would be really helpful, because at the moment all we've got is like some self-selecting systems where people vote for their favourite,
Yeah.
based on customer service or whatever. But
Yeah, that would be quite interesting when you start looking at, say, Telecom versus Vodafone. 2 major players in their market. How do they fare against one another?
yeah, okay.
Or the same in...
Well, who's going to set this website up?
We'll see.
I vote
Hey,
you.
There is a company in the UK doing something similar,
Yeah.
and they use a voice over IP system to automatically dial companies and have a chat to them.
Right.
But we'll see.
Oh, okay. All right, finally, meet the Crazies. What do you mean by this? Meet the Crazies.
Meet the Crazies. It's a little bit of advice that Tom Peters, author of In Search of Excellence, put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Tom wrote In Search of Excellence in 1985, and I think they went on to sell 10 or 12 million copies. And it's all about bringing excellence throughout your whole business, on a very basic level.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that Tom has pushed over time is that in any given week, you should be trying to meet at least one crazy person each day, take them out to lunch, learn about them, what they do, and just kind of get to know them.
What defines a crazy person?
Well, it's all relative, crazy relative to you. If you're an artist, maybe a suit's crazy, or if you're a corporate guy, maybe
Right.
talking to an artist.
Oh, so we're not talking about heading down to the local city square and picking out the person who's got all the pigeons all over them.
Well, you could, but maybe be careful.
Okay.
But, so he's saying that if you go to lunch with your friends, that's cool, all and good.
Yeah.
But what are you going to learn from them? You probably
the gossip. The gossip.
Wouldn't it be better to learn something that advances either your business, your personal knowledge, or?
Oh, it's lunchtime, Ben. I just want to eat my sandwich.
But imagine coming back from lunch re-energized because you met someone doing something really cool.
Okay. Well, but you don't come across these new and interesting people every day. How do you? I mean, aren't you going to seem weird ringing up? Could you come and have lunch with me? They don't even know you.
Position yourself in situations where you're going to meet new people.
Right.
Go to events where you don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Use things like Twitter or LinkedIn to meet people,
Okay.
and maybe that you share a common interest, but you work in slightly different industries.
I can see where this might work in social media like Twitter, where you'd say, I'm going to lunch. Anyone else, if you're in the area, come and see me.
Yeah, it would work quite well in that respect because you don't know who's going to respond.
And there'd be a few crazies.
I can vouch that there are a few crazies.
Well, that's an interesting idea. So that's basically just saying, look, step out of yourself, step out of your normal.
Yeah, and in a week, and my aim is to try and get to that 5 each week. Usually I get to 2, maybe 3. And it's quite refreshing. You always feel much more energized, and it helps you explain yourself.
Yeah.
Because in any given week, you have to talk to other people about what you do,
Yeah.
but you also learn about what they think about that.
I can't remember. Did we do it? I can't remember. Is that how we met? So we met through Twitter and then through
Yeah.
the blog and through that kind
Yeah.
of thing. But then did we go, let's meet up and have lunch and see what?
That is essentially how we met.
Yeah. So
Through this string of events.
to me, you're crazy, and to you, I'm crazy. So
That's right.
yeah. No longer crazy, of course. If we had lunch, it would be all about gossip.
I'm not seeing you for lunch again.
Ben Young, thanks so much. Bwaggy.com, BWAGY.com is the website where you head to. And, of course, twitter.com/Bwaggy as well, where you can hit him up and perhaps go and have lunch.
Cheers.
Time now.
Every
No, there we
Friday,
go.
Keith sits on his porch in Raglan, looks out the window,